What's good, my nation family? Welcome to Raiders Unleashed. Of course, I'm your host, Raiders Rebel. We have some new captains of the ship aboard who will be their shipmates. We will talk about that. Also, players to watch out for under Pete Carroll. We will also go over some key things I thought John Spytek and Pete Carroll had to say in their interview. Of course, we will break down Marshawn Lynch in the building. And Maxx Crosby talks. Is he staying? Is he going? We will break down all that and more, of course, on Raiders Unleashed.
I was born to be a Raider. 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 Win, lose, or die. Raiders till I die. Ain't nobody even with us, cause in the field we trust, just like Townsend came through, crushing it up. You know it's R-A-I-D-E-R-S. Other teams in the land, but we controlling the West. I was born to be a Raider since I formed in the womb. I'ma die being a Raider laid up in the tomb. My blood color black and my veins stay silver. Every tailgate I'm paid to pray for the liver. Raider Red super fan, Mariachi band, DJs, Mac Dre. It's a give it to the fans. Feel out in Oakland, jail out in Vegas. Always Raider Nation and they still gon' hate us. But like we always say, homie, team. Only one nation, Raider Nation, not a team. Lighting up the torch at least game time. Take a break of records, smash backs, break spines. Renfro catching passes that nobody can imagine. I can see LeVon, Del Davis, John Madden. Fresh Raider jersey, fresh 501s. Let me really show you fools how the West was won. Raider Nation, not to mention always imitated. Never duplicate, can't nobody ever fade us. I was born to be a
Raider. Oh, my bad. Sorry. What's good? Welcome, everybody. First off, let's get to the main thing. Chat lives matter. Shane Butler in the building. John Leon, what's good? Man, big things. So I'm gonna digress and say I was wrong. I thought this was gonna be a rebuild. According to Pete Carroll and Mr. Spytek, there is no rebuild in sight. They are hitting the ground running. They are in win now mode. Let me know what y'all think about that. To me, I'm excited. I think, there's a lot of players on this roster that weren't used. We're going to break down some of those. We're going to talk about free agents. Raider Ryan in the building. What's good? Oh, that's not Raider Ryan. Shit, I don't know. I'm blind. I can't see. But some main things, some key points, I thought were, he said you don't have to have a quarterback with the best arm. You don't have to have the highest paid best quarterback. We all know Russell Wilson was never touted, named as that top guy even when they were in the Super Bowl. But he was a quarterback that could make plays with his legs, that didn't really turn the ball over too often, and could put the ball where he needed it, from rolling out, making plays with his legs. So a lot of choices. There's a lot of quarterbacks that fit that description that, aren't the best. Throw some names in there if you want to, but let me get to this. What y'all got to say real quick. Man, this weather is killing me, bro. Fly, Eagles, fly. Man, the Eagles are nasty, bro. Saquon Barkley, I hope, just runs all over the Kansas City Chiefs. And, I'm hoping Super Bowl MVP for him and a ring. And I would love nothing more than the Philadelphia Eagles to fly, Eagles fly. That's the last time you'll ever hear me say that. Okay, maybe if they win the Super Bowl. But, yeah, they're nasty, bro. That defense is insane. You was born to be an Eagle. Now you're an Eagle? Come on, man. No, I'm just kidding. House Junkies was good. Appreciate you. Raider Ryan in the building. So, man, let me know what y'all's thoughts. If you weren't on board with Pete Carroll and John Spytek, are you on board with Pete Carroll now? Did the interview whatever you want to say, did his energy, you know, making jokes, did any of that change your mind about Pete Carroll being too old for this job? To me, it was never about age. It's about, of course, knowledge. Taking a year off, seeing where he went wrong in his last couple years in Seattle. And the man looks to me like he's on a mission, kind of like that Maxx Crosby mission. We'll break that down too. He wants to win now. I'm hyped, bro. I'm in. I'm here for it. I'm all aboard. I don't think, I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm not making any predictions. It's way too early for that, of course. But there are some players on this team and on this roster. Let me just pull this up real quick. On the defense that I thought weren't used the way they should have been used, especially, when you talk about rookies like Amari Gaynor. I mean, come on, one of the fastest linebackers we had showed out in the preseason when he got to control the whole defense against the Niners. I thought right there the man should have, got way more playtime than he did. Didn't get used like I think Pete Carroll, and it doesn't matter who his staff is. We know what Pete Carroll and what kind of staff members he's looking for, what he wants on the defense. He wants those hard-hitting safeties, those smash-mouth linebackers that are fast, that can cover. He wants those quick defensive ends, kind of like we have in a Malcolm Kuntz. That reminds me a lot of Bruce Irvin, kind of that, was one of Pete Carroll's biggest guys, defensive ends. So there's a lot of guys, on this team, like I said, that we didn't get to see, that were kind of drafted late. And one of them is, Andre Carter the second, 6'6", 256 pounds. I mean, how can these guys be used? Where will they be used? I think we have a lot more depth with the players, we brought in towards the later of the season, like a Jonah Lalu, like the next guy up, Kaylavon Chasen. I thought Kaylavon Chasen at 6'3", 245 is another, kind of one of those Bruce Irvin type guys. He's got strength. He's got the size. He's got the speed. We've seen his agility, had an interception. I think should have had 2 interceptions, always around the ball. So these guys are going to be nasty. I guarantee you, in the, this Legion of Boom or a Legion of Doom or whatever you want to call this defense. I'm not going there yet. Ove, I'm not even going to try to say his last name, but another guy that we did not get to see, get much grass time. So it's kind of hard to, make a showing when you're not on the grass constantly. You're not getting that play time. But another guy, the size, man, 6'4", 250 pounds, another defensive end that didn't get to play a lot. A lot of these guys, some of them, were just on 1-year deals. They're going to be free agents like Kaylavon Chasen. I think we need to sign and bring back, like, I don't know what the contract is, what he's going to want for the year he had. I think he had a pretty solid year. But, if we can negotiate it and keep it right, I think Kaylavon Chasen is a guy that you have to have on this team with a Pete Carroll type defense. I think is going to fit right in. Janarius Robinson, I think they could probably move on from him. Charles Snowden, yeah, we seen how he drives. We'll just say that, or how he parks. we'll see how he drives and how he parks. We'll leave it at that. I don't know. Snowden will make the team. I don't know if Pete Carroll's, he kind of seems to like a no nonsense guy to me. He's got that character in him. He's funny, but when it comes to discipline and being on the field, you're gonna see a different team, in my opinion. Adam Butler is going to be a free agent again. I think a guy that we have to bring back. I think he could be another guy that's just a problem in this defense and a problem for offensive linemen and opposing quarterbacks. I know he's getting, up there in age, but it's one of those veterans that I think definitely needs to be back on the team. Matthew Butler, I don't know, 6'3", 290. I mean, the guy's a monster. You haven't seen too many flashes. I don't know why he was on the field over some of these guys that I thought should get more play time. We got another guy, Zach Carter, at 6'4", 290. John Jenkins is a free agent. I think we move on from him. Jonah Lalu, I thought played his ass off, really. I mean, whenever he was on the grass, it seemed like he was around the ball. We seen him chasing guys, sideline to sidelines. We seen him get pressure. Of course, it didn't show up on the stat sheet because he wasn't getting sacks, but he was forcing running backs and quarterbacks all over the field. So, I think that's another guy at 24 years old. I thought he was on the free agent list, but somebody told me we took his contract over for 4 years. So if that's the case and we have him for 4 years, man, that's a big plus. Big plus. I'm gonna be so far behind in the chat probably. Another defensive tackle that I don't know much about. Tyler Manoa, 6'5", 315 pounds. Really got to know who the staff is, who the defensive staff is. But if we keep Robbie Leonard, even on the on defensive line, some are talking about him moving up. Let me know how you feel in the chat. Robbie Leonard taking over, DC. I don't know, what kind of defense he would run. But they've interviewed him, so if he ends up to DC, I totally trust Pete Carroll. And the guy's running the show now more than ever than I have anybody in the building. So I think they'll make the right decisions. But, if we keep Robbie Leonard around, he already knows a lot of these defensive linemen. And I think he got the best production. I mean, just look at Caleb Von Chasen and Jonah Lalu. The production he got out of those guys in the little amount of time he had them on the grass. So, Mari Burney, is he still on the team? Divine Diablo is a free agent and a guy, I criticized all year long. I talked more shit probably. I was probably the biggest critic on Divine Diablo. I don't know how many times I said the dude couldn't tackle a mannequin in a department store. However, man, at 6'3", 223, he can be kind of that sideline to sideline guy. If they can get better fundamentals out of him. He was a former safety, so I think to me, his best attribute is being able to cover guys sideline to sideline, being able to cover, running backs out of the backfield or tight ends. But I just don't know if the money's, if it's worth it, But like I said, another guy that if Pete Carroll sees, potential in this guy or sees he can get, more out of this guy, kind of like a KJ Wright type linebacker that played a lot of years for him. Tommy Eichenberg was a pretty high draft pick, right? What, 4th round? Drafted in the 4th round. Didn't see much grass time at all at 6'2", 239. One of those guys that is always in the backfield, always around the ball. What is the potential in Tommy Eichenberg? Another big question that, I really thought he was going to get more grass time than he did. I don't know what the situation there was. I know he was hurt off and on. Amari Gaynor. This is this dude, I'm telling you, I don't know why I was so disappointed at the, little amount of grass time he's seen, except for special teams. He was constantly, around the ball on special teams, chasing guys down, making plays there. I think they put him in a couple times at defensive end, and he was still disruptive there. Cowtown Luda in the building. I see you, Pigs. I see you. I'll get to y'all in a second. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Amari Gaynor, bro. I think Amari Gaynor is going to be special under this Pete Carroll, squad or whoever he brings in as his shipmates, as the title says. Kanai Muaga. I mean, I don't, another guy that's 6'2", 245. I kind of liked him at fullback, really. I mean, maybe Pete Carroll and, whoever comes in as offensive coordinator will see the potential, you know, of this man at fullback, especially on the goal line. They didn't really handle the ball, but I think the potential is there. We need a big nasty dude at fullback, and man, if he could hold on to the ball, I don't know why why he couldn't be a fullback or just be a a lead blocker. I think would be a key spot, and he's one of those guys that doesn't take up a roster spot. Jackson Mitchell, I know absolutely nothing about. If anybody knows something about Jackson Mitchell, let me know in the chat. 6'2", 235. Like I said, I don't know nothing about the kid. I don't know what the contract is, if he's a free agent, if it was just 1 year. I have no idea. I don't know why. Brandon Smith, another guy, 6'3", 240. Of course, the biggest question, and everybody wants to know, is Robert Spillane. Do we keep him? And I'll just stop right there on Robert Spillane and get to this chat and shit. Do we keep Robert Spillane? Robert Spillane is what, second or third in the NFL in tackles. He was disruptive, but he also got beat a lot. I mean, a lot when it comes to pass coverage. And I think it hurt us a lot. So to me, in a Pete Carroll system, like I said, it's more of that hybrid type linebacker that's fast, like an Amari Gainer, like Divine Diablo if he could tackle. I think that's more the fit. So I don't know, if we bring Spills back. I know a lot of people say it's a definite, and he, is one of those guys we have to have. But man, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the price, with the year he had. If Patrick Graham comes back, you could see Spills definitely being signed. Maybe they go to, excuse me, maybe we go to a 4-3 defense, and maybe we have three linebackers, so he can be that middle guy, constantly blitzing, just worrying about the running back. And maybe we throw in that scenario. We definitely keep Spills in that situation, in my opinion. Damn, let me give up. This chat is way, way up there. All Eagles have to do is run the ball. Well, I talked about it last week, or my last live, how their winning percentage was better when Rick, my guy, was good. Their winning percentage was better when he didn't throw the ball over 159 yards. But they totally killed that scenario last week. And Saquon Barkley ran for under 150 yards. And Jalen Hurts threw the ball for, I don't know what it was, but I think he had close to over 250 yards total with him rushing and passing. So it's a hard combination to beat, right? That RPO is nasty. The read option, the speed read option, like it's hard to contain. And if the man could just be accurate and get AJ Brown involved, right? Oh my goodness, bro. AJ Brown has to be involved in the game. Like that should be your number one target on every single play if it's not a run play, right? Shane wants to talk crap because the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. Wasn't it like a month ago you were on here saying how you hated the Eagles and your family were forcing you to be Eagles fans? That's why you like the Raiders, my guy Shane. But I'll be rooting for him too, man. I'm here for it. Got chills watching the presser. I'm hyped. Yeah, I did too. And speaking of chills, did anybody see the picture on the Raiders.com with Pete Carroll holding the Raider helmet? That shit gave me goosebumps, bro. I was like, man, I am all in. The fact that Pete Carroll kept mentioning Al Davis, I think really hit home. And on a lot of Raider fans that were kind of talking, Pete Carroll's age. Pete Carroll was going to be too old. He couldn't do this. His time, he's washed up. Games passed him by, whatever. His health is going to be an issue. He can't be here for 3 years. I think that changed a lot of minds. Hopefully, I hope it changed a lot of minds, but I believe it changed, a lot of people's, concept or how they feel about Pete Carroll and his age. I think bringing up Al Davis as much as he did, like he said, Al Davis is a legend. He wants to do this, for Al, for Mark Davis as a favor to his father, which, I thought that was very, very cool. Spytek talking about his family and his wife, holding back tears, I thought was pretty classic moment. You think Pete Carroll is too old? Come on, man. I'm afraid Pete Carroll is too old, have health problems. I feel he should be worried. I don't think so. I think come on, man. That dude, you see the energy he has? Like, he's going to bring that energy day in, day out on the field. He'll be running up and down the sidelines, when guys are running kickback returns for touchdowns or breaking 80-yard touchdowns, because I think we're going to have some running backs that can do that under Pete Carroll. What my man say? You think Graham is the number one pick? Sam Z, what's good? Appreciate you pulling up, tapping in, hit them like buttons, subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, I think there's been reports out that Dave Zimmerman, is it? Who's the defensive shit? I don't know. I don't have my notes. The DC for Michigan, there's been reports that he might be involved in an interview. I don't know if those are true, if they're looking at him. But man, if you bring over that dude, could we do something crazy and take a Mason Graham at 6th and trade back up to 7th and grab Will Johnson? Take both Michigan guys? I mean, to me, that would solidify the defense for many, many, many years to come. I know it would be a crazy move, but the Raiders have done crazier, stupider shit, way stupider. I don't know if Pete Carroll's done crazy shit like that. I was talking to somebody earlier. I was saying, I think Pete Carroll's only drafted 4 times, I believe. Maybe it's 6, but I think it's 4 times in the first round in his 14 years at Seattle. That's something we have to definitely look at on, who's going to be or moving up. A lot of people are saying, of course, we're moving up to number 1 to go get Shador. I think that's the craziest take and concept. But again, like I said, the Raiders, they've done crazy shit. Pete Carroll only had 4 losing seasons out of 18. Raiders last 20 years, 2 winning seasons. Enough said. I mean, yeah, Raider Ryan, shit. Show's over. All right. Have a good night. There's nothing else to talk about. I think my man sums it up right there. Cowtown Looter, what you got? Raider, what up? We wish we would have had AP for 1 more year. No, I don't. No. I mean, not when we have Pete Carroll. I didn't know Pete Carroll was on the table. But yeah, I still believe AP was, he got did wrong, bro. Either way you slice it, I think. Would I be mad if he was here 1 more year? Nah, I wouldn't be mad. But as soon as Pete Carroll's name was mentioned, or even before it was mentioned, I was like, shit, that's one of those guys you got to look at. People said he was too old. We know how it goes. Rebel, how are you? I hope the Eagles. I hope the Eagles get a good edge guy trade in the market. Maxx Crosby or Myles Garrett. I don't think they need a good edge. I mean, the way their defense is playing right now, they got the guy I thought the Raiders should have picked at 13, Quinyon Mitchell. I know we got Brock Bowers, but there's not another Quinn. Well, there might be another Quinyon Mitchell in this draft. We don't know. but I don't see one. I think we gotta get CB in the 4th. Oh, so we got. I get you. We got CB in the 4th. So we drafted him in the 5th because we got Labe in the 6th, right? Raf in the building, Cowtown, Luda. I'm telling you one thing. I'm a lot more confident heading into this offseason with Spytek, Brady, and Carroll evaluating talent further than the. Oh, I mean, 100%. We've heard all the talks about how it was Tom Telesco's draft, right? Tom Telesco drafted JPJ. Tom Telesco drafted Brock Bowers. And I said the whole time I was not a big fan of Tom Telesco. It takes 20 guys in that room putting, their heads together, going over tape with the scouts. And if 19 guys over one GM agree on one guy, they're usually GM's not going to say I'm taking that guy. Now, if Al Davis is in the building or it's the owner, it's a different story. If Mark really wanted somebody, but Mark says he doesn't meddle like that. So yeah, 100%. These guys evaluating talent, evaluating this draft with the 10 picks we have, which could even be more picks. Patrick Graham's not getting a head coaching job, so that doesn't matter. But I do believe, some of these restricted free agents we have, if they go somewhere else, we do get some picks. So out of the 10 picks we have, we can also add more to that. And we could also trade back from 6. Like I said, Pete Carroll is only drafted 4 times, and he drafted a guard in the first round, a tackle in the first round, a defensive end in the first round, and a safety. Those are his first round picks. So trenches, trenches, trenches is what I say. If we could look at Pete Carroll and what, I don't know if it was, the Seattle thing, the GM over there, or if it was, the guys in the room with Pete Carroll, but we know he did have some good offensive line coaches over there, so it could have been that too. But build the trenches. We know that's the main thing, and we're not far off. We have JPJ, we have DJ Glaze. I'm sure he can get the best out of Munford. I'm sure White Hair and those guys, Andres Pete are gone, but we also have the hell's the other guy? It'll come to me in a minute. Our defense will improve greatly when we have an actual run game to keep them off the field. I mean, that's 100%. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I mean, bro, that's 1,000%. We already know that. And for any team, you have to have a run game, and we've seen just in these playoffs, right? When Washington couldn't run the ball against Philly, they were done. It was over. The rest of the teams in the NFL, same thing. When Houston couldn't run the ball that much against Kansas City, lights out, done for. So as long as you got a running back and you can pound the rock, wear the defense down, keep your offense on the field, let your defense get rest, which we failed to do for many, many years. But then you go back and look at time of possessions in a lot of our games, time of possessions were the same, and our defense still, just fell out in the third and fourth quarter. So Raf says, salute Cowtown House Junkies. Got you. The Raiders let Robert leave, bro, to Philly. He would shine. Well, hey, I'll trade you. I'll take what do you got? Brom, what's his name? The linebacker in Philly. That man's a beast, Bomb. That dude's a dog. Salute Raiders are my second favorite team. Bro, I know you're not gonna sit up there on the TV screen and debate whether we should resign Spillane or not. Yes, I am debating. I am completely debating. I'm not debating whether we should or not. I'm just saying for the system, we know. I mean, I know what Pete Carroll likes to do with his defense. We've seen it many, many years, not only with Seattle, but we've seen it with the Patriots. We've seen it with USC. We know what his defense brings, and it's linebackers that can cover sideline to sideline. And I'm not saying, if it's within 10 yards, we're good with Spillane, but it's how they use him. And yes, he's definitely a leader on a team. And yes, you got to have a man that is, second in the NFL in tackles. Like, I'm not saying don't resign him. I'm saying it is a question. It is a big question. There are a lot, Bobby Wagner type guys. Look at Carroll and what he likes to do. Now, a lot of that's going to come down, again, to who's the defensive coordinator. And we don't know that yet. Patrick Graham will build up the defense. I don't know if Patrick Graham's coming back. I don't know if Patrick Graham's coming back. I don't know where he would be, and I don't know where he would go. He might be the odd man out in this year's, coaching carousel, because I don't see him going to Jacksonville. He was interviewed for the head coaching job. I don't see him taking that job. The Saints job is still open. I don't know if he's interviewed for the Saints job or not. I don't know how that's going to work. Billy D was good, my guy. But, I mean, I don't know. Unless Patrick Graham comes back to the Raiders, he might not have a job. Like, he could be jobless. And I'm sure somebody will sign him somewhere, but it's looking like he should have signed that contract that the Raiders, put on his desk. Some reports are months ago, and he never signed. So that might come back to bite Patrick Graham in the ass. And sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. Sometimes you just got to water the grass where you're at. Subscribe the other week. Keep going, bro. Great channel. Hey, I appreciate you too. Cool. Means a lot, my guy. Raiders need a guy like Nick Sirianni. Nah, I think we're good. What it do, Billy D in the building? Marshawn was hype at the presser. He yelled out, Raiders! Glad the energy shifted positively from day one for Pete in the building. Yeah, I'm totally glad for that also. But, since you brought that up, I want to make light of something that really scares me. And it has to do kind of with Pete Carroll's age. Pete Carroll, if you've seen the Raiders, I don't know if it was just a short or whatever. I think it was a short the Raiders put out. I don't know if it was Raiders.com. I don't know exactly who put it out, but I think it was the Raiders. Was Pete Carroll walking down the hall after the interviews or press conference, whatever you want to call it, and Marshawn Lynch come up behind him and grabbed him, and he turned around and he's like, "Oh, hey, were you here the whole time? Where you been?" So for one, he didn't see Marshawn Lynch standing there when there wasn't that many people. That room, wasn't that big, but he's seen Maxx Crosby in the back leaning up against the wall. And then when Marshawn yells out, Raiders, he didn't even know it was Marshawn Lynch, because walking down the hall, he turned around and said, "Were you the one that yelled out Raiders?" And Marshawn said, "Who else would yell out Raiders?" So that kind of scares me, that maybe his hearing is not too good. His vision is not that good. I mean, I don't know. He does have glasses on, but how do you miss Marshawn Lynch? Like, Marshawn Lynch is a big body, bro. Like, he's a big dude, and he's a loud dude. And who else is going to be yelling Raiders, interrupting your press conference like that? So that kind of scared me just a little bit. But other than that, I don't have anything to say bad about Pete Carroll. That's not even bad. That just, I don't know. Saints got Kellen Moore as long as he wants it. I mean, is that a fact or not? I don't know. I don't know if the Saints need to stop taking chances. Avakazi Raider, what's good, my guy? The Saints need to just. I think they should have swung for the fences early, but to wait and maybe they have some interviews coming up. Maybe they're waiting for somebody in the Super Bowl, and they haven't made a decision yet. But that's crazy to me. Um, I don't know nothing about a bus driver, bro. What? You have to retype it. Oh wait. Um, Rebel, that was a lie. Listen to my bus driver. He told me I can't be a Eagles one and a Raiders two. He said I can only like one. I mean, you can do whatever you want, my guy. You can have two teams, but a loyal fan chooses one. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Now, you can have two, but to be a diehard fan or a loyal fan of a team, you can't have two teams. Like you have to have one team. There's only, one nation, right? F the other 31. Do I have any beef with the Eagles? I will if they lose to the Chiefs. I definitely will if they lose to the Chiefs. I don't like the fact that um, they have AJ Brown, one of the best receivers in the NFL. They don't throw the ball to. He really helped them win that game, I thought, and I think they should really give that man way more credit and the ball way more. Sacktown, what's good? What's good? Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the building. I wish I had his money, bro, and his cars. Fuck, that'd be nice. I just want his cars. So Pete Carroll, stop moving. I'm trying to read. Damn it. Uh, so Pete Carroll is still going to teach at USC while being the head coach. Did he say that? No, he said. I thought he said he taught a course already. Like it's already over and done. But I could be wrong. And what's good, my guy? Be Bizla. I don't know how to say your name, bro. Google your name. But hey, that's cool. If the man could teach a class, that's fine. I don't think he's going to be teaching the class during the season. Like I think that would be wild. I think he has way way better things to do or way bigger issues than teaching a class. He should do an online course for Raider fans. That would be crazy. All right, so let's get back into this. I'm all caught up into the chat, I think. Where did I left off? Robert Spillane. Robert Spillane is where we left off. And yeah, Robert Spillane is one of those guys that is pretty much the heartbeat of the defense, kind of like Josh Jacobs was on the offense, who is no longer with us. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It just depends on who the coordinator is going to be. I think Robert Spillane could be one of those guys that might be on the ropes. As much as I hate to say it, now, do I want him back? Absolutely. But like I said, as an every down linebacker, I don't know. He hurt us too much last year. MJ Devonshire, a guy that didn't get hardly any. Did he even get on the field? I think a couple games towards the end. 5'11", not very big, 186. Um, I don't know where he could fit in. Maybe as a slot receiver. If we move on from Nate Hobbs, we'll get to Nate. I guess Nate Hobbs is next. Maybe he could fill in as that slot receiver. But at 5'11", a slot, man, I don't know. Sometimes you have to guard those tight ends in the slot. That's kind of a rough ask for a guy 5'11", 186, in my opinion. But MJ Devonshire on tape is pretty damn athletic. So I mean, I don't know again who our defensive backs coaches are going to be if we move on from them, which I'm pretty sure a lot of the defensive staff will be gone. Pete Carroll's going to bring in a lot of his, a lot of his own guys. Nate Hobbs, Nate Hobbs is a big, big question. How much is he going to want? I'm sure he's going to want a bag. He's injured a lot. I don't think he's played one full season, has he? Has he played one full season with the Raiders since he's been here? At 6 foot, 195, brought him in as a corner. I don't really think he could play safety. I don't know if they use him as a slot. I don't know. Nate Hobbs might be one of those guys that's another guy on the bubble. And I hate to say it, but if you look at it, he's probably going to want, close from 6 to 9 million a year. That's going to eat a chunk of our of our salary cap, with Maxx Crosby wanting contract negotiations, which we'll get to that at the end coming up here in a bit. But let me know in the chat, what do y'all think about Mr. Hobbs, Space Beast? What's good? Rebel leader, yeah. Greg Lira, appreciate you pulling up. What did I get to? Pete Carroll will continue to coach a course at USC after accepting the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job, according to TMZ Sports. I mean, shit. The man thinks he can do both. He can do both as long as it don't take away from us. But we got guys under contract. Now they have to com/Pete. Oh, they're going to have to compete. There's going to be a lot of competing on this roster. Absolutely some competing on this roster. Sweet. I'm all caught back up to the chat. All right. Get back to this. So, yeah, let me know what you think about Nate Hobbs. Devonshire, I think, is a guy that's going to compete for that job. Darnay Holmes is another guy that's, right underneath them. 5'10", 195. I thought Darnay Holmes progressed, right? He didn't play solid. I mean, the whole year. He got beat a lot. He missed a lot of tackles, a lot of big tackles that ended up in 7 points. But he got better. He progressed kind of like a Meek Robertson. Okay, not like a Meek, because a Meek would give up a touchdown and then have an interception in the very next play, or force a fumble or crazy shit like that. So not like a Meek, but I thought Darnay Holmes played pretty decent. He's 26. That's a big question. Nate Hobbs is 25. We didn't get to see much of Keenan Isaac. 6'3". I really like, a guy that big at corner. It's kind of hard, to throw the ball over his head. He's gonna go up and compete with every pass pretty much. And I'm trying to think, but at 24, again, 6'3", 190, pretty solid Alabama State guy. We didn't get to see too much of him, so will he be around to to see what we have in camp? Who knows? I don't know if he's on the free agency list. Jack Jones, 5'11", 175. We all know about Jack. He was brought in with Antonio Pierce. That's an Antonio Pierce guy. I think he has one more year on his contract. Do we keep a guy like Jack Jones? Do we take a shot? Do you think? I just don't think at 5'11", I don't think he fits Pete Carroll's system. And again, we don't know, who the defensive coach is going to be, the DC. We don't know who defensive back coach is going to be, or the corner coach. So that's a big question. But at 5'11", I think, when you got guys like a Keenan Isaac that's 6'3", 190 pounds. Does he have Jack Jones's vision, athleticism? Probably not. But Jack Jones also had one of the worst QBR ratings against for quarterbacks. I think he finished the season with like 128 QBR for opposing quarterbacks. Not very good numbers. Again, an AP guy. I can see them, try to trade him or maybe just letting him go. I don't know. We will see. But again, 5'11" just doesn't seem like with the chances he takes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me get back to the chat. I see a lot of chats going off open here. We as a fan base do need to accept this. Either focus on the Raiders organization or kick rocks. Shit, 100%. I'm good with that. Spake B said Hobbs can walk. Alpha Kasi doesn't say anything. He's 7'3", focused on the NFL. Man, Howie Roseman keeps finding ways to make us better. I don't know how. I mean, he's a damn good GM, bro. But why are we talking about the Eagles in here? This is a Raider chat, dog. You're supposed to be talking about the Raiders. The fuck? Jack Jones is the kind of player step up on a contract year. I don't know if he could step up, though. I mean, he gave up more touchdowns than anybody on our team, and that's saying a lot for, the rookies we had playing in not MJ Devonshire, but the other one. I can't think. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about Jack. He might step up in a contract year. I just don't. I don't know. Like he just got beat too many times. Man coverage, press, and man, he got smoked. And there was times where he completely let guys go. Now I don't know if that's just lack of being in the playbook or not knowing the play. But when you're completely letting guys go and there's nobody, not a safety behind you, the safety's in front of you blitzing. Stupid shit like that can't be let go. And I don't think that's going to fly on a Pete Carroll team. So I don't know how much they're going to go back and look at tapes from last year, but I'm sure they're going to do a whole bunch of evaluating. And I could see Jack Jones not making his team. What are your thoughts on targeting some Bucks players that have connections with Spytek? I'm sure he's going to go, I wouldn't mind. I know he's old, but Mike Evans, I mean, 1,000 yards every year in the NFL. He still makes, big time catches. That contract might still be pretty high. I don't know. Chris Godwin's a free agent. But again, another guy that's hurt, injured, probably going to want, T. Higgins money. To me, I'm not paying either one of those guys. We still got to go through this, but there's some guys. We have a lot of receivers that nobody knows about too on this roster that didn't get any play time, that we don't know what we have in these guys. And I'm pretty damn sure that the coaches are going to find out very soon if they're worth keeping around or not. Carroll McMillan, wide receiver at 6. Milrow moved back up into the first. Scattaboo in the third. All right. You gotta Space Beach. You gotta elaborate on the Milrow thing, and McMillan too. Really, I'm not sold at that dude, especially at 6 in the first round. I'd rather have Trey Harris at Ole Miss. Milrow, if we're gonna be the Eagles, that's fine. If you're gonna have them pass for 150 yards a game and run read option and pass option, that's cool. But I mean, that's not what I want this Raiders, franchise and organization to look like. That's not fun football. I mean, I don't mind winning. I don't mind, running the ball all the time, but I want to see some highlights. We have Brock Bowers. What are you going to do with a Brock Bowers if you get Milrow? Like, he's not very good at passing. He's going to be a project. He does throw over the middle more than a lot of these quarterbacks coming out of the draft. But I'd rather take a shot on Riley Leonard, in my opinion, or a Jackson Dart than a Milroe, just because they read defenses better, they see the field better, their vision is way better, in my opinion, both of them. Um, but yeah, if you want a quarterback that's going to run for 1,000 yards, then Milroe's your guy, 100%. And Scatterboo in the third, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that either, but don't we have Dylan Labe over there that, everybody said was the juice box, Christian McCaffrey 2.0. He had the fourth best hands coming out of the draft last year, never got put in the game. I mean, he can't probably pass like Scatterboo, but he's pretty athletic and does all the shit he does. He doesn't run as hard. Same size, I do believe. I would rather have, I mean, I like the way Scatterboo runs. The dude is kind of a definition of what it means to be a Raider. He has that, lean forward, low center of gravity. I just like, I like Judkins, man. Quinshawn Judkins. He's 21 years old. He's a junior. He declared for the draft. The kid runs hard. He reminds me of that Marshawn Lynch style, that lean forward, pick up every yard. He's not going down after the first or second or third tackle attempt. That kid is a dog. And if you could get a Judkins in the third round, whoo, I wouldn't be mad at that. This fan base, we need to demand what? We need to demand we quit working at USC and focus on the Raiders. I'm sure they'll take care of that. And it might not even be, he might not even be, it might be an online thing. He might be teaching a class online. I don't know. Like, is he physically flying to USC to teach a class once a day or once a week or whenever he teaches it once a month? I don't know. But that would be crazy. Jacorian Bennett. Jacorian Bennett's a dog, and he's gonna be very, 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 very good under Pete Carroll. He is a defensive back guru, in my opinion. Bro, don't try to come on here with that fake news and imploding. He probably take a month for what, and what? What are you talking about, bro? Don't try to come in here with that fake news and implode. He probably take a 1 month of it all. I'm lost. Unfortunately, last season, the business decisions were coming from the top and trickling down the racks, in my opinion. I don't know if those business decisions were. I think Antonio Pierce was making a lot of those decisions. And I think him calling out a lot of those players cost him a job. What else we got? My guy says, how can we evaluate players when you have to evaluate midterms, finals, projects, and papers? Bro, I don't know. I don't know how Pete Carroll's going to do that. I have no idea. But obviously, if Pete Carroll believes he can run the Raiders as head coach and take care of the draft and do all that shit, like, he also has a lot of people that are going to run this franchise for him. I'm very, very well sure of that. At his age, like he said, he's going to bring in guys that know his system, that know how to run his system, that know how to teach his system, that have been involved and know what he's trying to accomplish. And that's going to be easy money for him, right? When you got guys you bring in the building that already know what you're trying to do, that you don't have to try to teach, that are already on the same page, that already have the same vision, I think he'll be all right. Clay Greer, I like Chief Godwin. He has passed the physical. I like Godwin too, but like I said, it depends on the price. Lord Rachita, facts. I want to see what's up with Romeo Keaton, right? Ramel Keaton, 100%. Comparing Labe to what? Oh man, comparing Labe to a back from Iowa State is nuts. Labe couldn't. Be any burn was horrible, stable. In fact, bats cut him. Bro, he has one of the best hands in the NFL. Like he was ranked third or fourth best hands coming out of the draft. He had one of the best completion percentages, catch percentages coming out of the draft. That man does not drop shit. Like Lobby can catch, he can run. You seen on the punt return, the kid's dynamic with the ball in his hands. He just didn't get any play, didn't get burned because of those fumbles. But that was an Antonio Pierce decision. I don't think the coaches we have in the building are going to let guys sit and waller in their own misery for a whole entire season because they fumbled one time as a rookie. I think these coaches are way better than that, but I'm not comparing them to anybody. I'm just saying we have a guy that we drafted, fifth, sixth round in the building. Sorry, I'm not equipped enough to talk Raiders. Feel bad, but I can try. No, you're good, my bro. You're good. Talk whatever you want. Yeah, let's get them likes up. Appreciate it. All right, let's get back to this because shit, not that way. Kai Blue, 6'1", 185. Kai Blue Kelly, I think he played in a couple of games, like the last two games. I think he's got a little bit of burn. Didn't see much of him again, but 6'1", 185, has that Sherman, okay, people are going to get mad if I compare people to people, so I won't say Richard Sherman, but has that kind of size, right? Dekamarion Richardson, another guy at 6'2", 195, and seems like he was putting on, mass, a lot of mass. Every time I seen him, every game, it looked like that dude was getting bigger. So it looks like to me that's one of the guys that definitely knows how to put on mass, knows how to hit the weight room, and whatever the trainers are doing with that kid, it's working, right? He wasn't the greatest, but we have to remember Dekamarion Richardson, or Decamarion, however you say his name, Decamarion. The man missed the first 6 games of the season on IR because of his hip. So he didn't get really any burn in practice. He missed a lot. I think he was even hurt in OTAs, so he didn't get much, out there. I think he got hurt in OTAs and, didn't get a lot of rep out there. And then once Jacorian Bennett went down, he was pretty much thrown into a fire. And I thought he did all right. There was times, where he got beat, but he recovered quickly. He made the tackle. The games that he did start, he was second. I think second. He was third or better in every game in tackling. So I think one game he was first in tackles. Another game, he was a couple of games he was second in tackles, which is, pretty hard to do when you got Spillane in there getting 13, 14 tackles a game. So I thought the man was damn good in the run game. Like I said, his recoverability, I think he's very athletic. And Dekamarion Richardson could be another one of those guys that could be one of them ones under a Pete Carroll. Sam Webb, another guy, 6'2", 195. We have some big defensive backs. And I think one of the main reasons Pete Carroll took this job for the Las Vegas Raiders as he looked at this roster. And when you look at this roster, there was a lot of guys not being used where they should have been. And I think a lot of that comes down to Patrick Graham, because we know Antonio Pierce said, I'm going to let my coaches coach. They make the decisions. They make the personnel decisions. Now, I don't know if it was Patrick Graham don't like using rookies unless he has to kind of situation, or, you got to earn your job. But again, I thought Dekamarion Richardson played damn well. Sam Webb was hurt also during the season, got hurt a lot, so he wasn't healthy for the whole year. But when he was in there, he definitely made some plays, showed a little bit of flash here and there. Ron Harper at safety is another guy. Had to play a whole lot when we started getting, more injuries. Trayvon Moehrig, definitely you have to bring back. I think the man played outstanding, and I think he's going to be just going to get better and better and better under Pete Carroll. So definitely on a Trayvon Moehrig. Isaiah Mao, Paula Mao, I thought progressed definitely every single game. He started, towards the later games, started laying that lumber, pause if necessary. You know, I thought he was hitting way harder. He was throwing shoulders. He wasn't just tackling guys wrapping up their legs or at their feet. He was trying to force fumbles. He was ripping at the ball. So I thought he definitely got better and better as the games went around. But the main one, bro, Trey Taylor, 6 foot, 213. The guy is an athletic freak at an Army, and I think this dude's going to be a missile back there at safety. I don't know how much playtime he'll get as a rookie, but if he stays healthy, dude, this guy has potential to be, I don't know, like I'm not saying no Cam Chancellor style, but the dude, he can lay the wood, pause if necessary. So offensive wise, Carter Bradley probably won't be on the squad. Aiden O'Connell is might be questionable, depending on what route we go. If they go free agency and draft a quarterback, Carter Bradley might make the squad and they might try to trade Aiden O'Connell. I don't see that happening. I think he's very, very good at staying as a backup, especially if somebody gets hurt. He's a guy that can come in and win games and not have a huge drop off. So, Aiden's a guy that might be questionable to have a job also. Desmond Ridder, I don't think they're going to keep around. However, Ridder does fit that style that Pete Carroll likes in his quarterbacks. He's mobile. He does have a decent arm. It's not the strongest, but Pete Carroll said you don't have to have the strongest arm to, play quarterback for him. So Desmond Ridder could be a guy, on a cheap contract, maybe a bridge guy where we don't go out and spend a lot of money in free agency and, you draft a quarterback and keep Desmond Ridder at, to start the first couple of games like they try. What am I saying? No. I'm just saying it could happen. You never know. But we've made stupid decisions before, like bringing in Gardner Minshew and starting him over Aiden O'Connell. So, it could be another scenario. 6'3", 207. He is mobile. He can make plays with his legs and in the right system. I mean, I don't know. Somebody might could get the best out of him. He is still young. He is still pretty young. 25. I think he's third year in the league. Amir Abdullah at 31. I don't know. Probably not coming back. But Chris Collier, running back, was a UDFA, 5'11, 210. Has that kind of like that new NFL running back, right? 5'10, 5'11, 210, 220, 225. I don't know how fast he is. I don't have, let's see if no, it's not going to pull it up. Oh, well, yeah, they don't have no 40 times on here. So no 40 time. But I mean, another guy that they might definitely take a look at just because of his size. Dylan Labe again, 5'10, 208 pounds, can run the hell out of some wheel routes. Like, there's a reason they played this man his senior year, took him out of the backfield, put him in the slot. They even lined him up as the number one receiver because he was the best receiver on their team. And he was, like I said, the top three best receivers in the draft. So look for them to find ways to use this kid. He's under rookie contract. He's not going nowhere. Alexander Madison, I think they're moving on from. Isaiah Spiller, 6'1", 215. We don't know much about him. He's in his third year. Another guy that they could keep around, definitely at least for camp, for UDFA, or for training camp to, see if maybe the guy could fit in somewhere. Another guy on that list would be shit. You gotta go all the way to the bottom. Sincere McCormick. We know Sincere McCormick. He's not on this running back list because he's on the injured reserve list, so he's not on here. But Isaiah Spiller would be another guy, to look at some of his tape. The guy has pretty decent vision. He can make, he's not catch the ball, see hole, run hole. Like he can make cuts. He can be elusive. Alec Bachman, probably not going to be on this squad. I don't know. He did run kick returns and punt returns for us, so another guy to definitely keep in mind. Cedric Jackson, I know absolutely nothing about. I didn't even know this dude was on the squad. I don't know how long he's been on the squad. It's his first year. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. Not bad size for a receiver. Again, I don't know anything about him. I don't know I could tell you what school he's from. Nope, they're not going to give me that either. So don't have that. Ramel Keaton is, man, a guy out of Tennessee that's very explosive. He can high point the ball. He's going to compete for every catch. He has very strong hands. The man's built like a brick shit house. They kept him on the squad for a reason. He made plays in the offseason. But again, didn't get much burn when they put him in. They put him in at trips wide and pretty much blocked and ran the ball that side. So again, a lot of these guys I'm talking about because, they just didn't get used to their potential. Terrence Matthew or Marshall Jr., another pretty big guy, 6'2", 200 pounds. Didn't seem very explosive. I think he had a couple catches, 2 catches, 3 catches for us down the stretch. Had a couple chances. I thought he dropped a couple targets that he probably should have caught. So fourth year in the NFL, probably not making this squad. Tyreek McAllister, probably not making the squad again. I don't know why. I thought he was off the squad. I thought they released him, but I thought he did a damn good job at kick returner and punt returner. And, even as a scat back out of the backfield, but he did get lit up both times he touched the ball out of the backfield. So that's probably not a good thing. So that's, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers on the squad. Jacoby Meyer is a guy, that can be that number one. I think he's better as a number 2, but can be that number 1 if he has to be. There also is a question, Josh McDaniels. I hate to say it, but Josh McDaniels is the guy that traded for Jacoby Myers, brought him to Las Vegas. He is now the OC again with the New England Patriots. Do the Patriots try to make a trade for a Jacoby Myers and pair him up with a Drake May? To me, would be the best decision they could possibly ever make. They probably should have never let go of Jacoby Myers. I don't know what the price would be. I don't know if the Raiders would be willing to let him go. But if I was New England, I'd be picking up the phone and being like, man, what do you want for Jacoby Myers? Because they don't really have, they don't have a Jacoby Myers. That's number one. They don't have a guy that can block like that. He would help their run game. Like he would just tell, his veteran leadership, being around Tay, I think would definitely help that squad. So that's a name to look at that, might not be on the Raiders. Might be on the trade block. I don't know. Trey Tucker, again, it's only a second year. He's not going anywhere. Christian Wilkerson at 6'1", 214. He's had a couple plays, had a couple flashes, didn't do anything special. I just don't see him keeping him around. We know Brock, Harrison Bryant, Michael Mayer. Justin Shorter, at 6'5" and 228 is a guy that you would have to think to maybe put back at receiver, right? I don't know what his 40 time is. I don't know what his speed is. I don't know how good he is at running route tree. Film doesn't really show much because, of course, he was a tight end. And I think he was a receiver before that. But there's a reason they made him a tight end. Maybe he's better at blocking. I don't know. Andre James at center, we have to move on from, maybe as a backup, but not even that, because underneath him you have Will Putnam, which was just an absolute freak of nature in college. And I was it Clemson? Not Clemson. Was it Clemson? Shit, I don't know. One of the schools, C schools. But dude, the dude was an absolute dog. And why he didn't get any burn or brought up, he was brought up the last couple of weeks. They didn't pay him. But when we were struggling and Andre James got hurt, to me, one of the biggest mistakes Antonio Pierce and this, coaching staff made was not putting in Will Putnam at center and keeping JPJ at guard. I think the offense would have been way better. They would have been nasty. That he has that fire like JPJ. He was one of those guys that was, in a fight with Robert Spillane in practice, in training camp, and then Maxx Crosby got involved. The whole team got involved. So Will Putnam is a dog, bro. That man has that fire in him. And I think he definitely should have been out there playing. But again, that's probably why our offensive line coach got fired. Jordan Meredith is a name I was trying to think of earlier that I slipped my mind. At 6'2", 300 pounds, Jordan Meredith was one of the best graded linemen we had all season long. That's a guy you can definitely keep in at guard and build a team around. Al's Ghost was good. Dylan Parham, definitely a good backup piece. Andre Pete gone. JPJ, we know what's good with that. Cody Whitehair gone. But this man right here, gotta leave. I don't know. I think he was part teammates with DJ Glaze in college. I'm not positive. But 6'4", 309. He's an offensive tackle. Maybe with this regime, and there's a lot of talks about a former head coach possibly coming back to run the offensive line again. He has run the offensive line before. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to jinx shit, but if we can bring back a solid offensive line coach like that, or even keep Joe Philbon in the building, could you possibly move Adize, to a guard spot at 6'4", 309? To me, that's perfect size for a guard, and there's probably a reason they're not starting him at tackle. Sorry, I keep looking up. I'm trying to watch the Lakers game at the same time. But yeah, there's probably a reason why he's not a starting tackle or hasn't been getting much burn at tackle. Possibility to definitely move the guard. Maybe save us a draft pick or save us a spot in free agency. Definitely something to think about. Colton Miller. Do we move on from Colton Miller? There's two left tackles in this in free agency that are absolute beast. All pro, every year. Like, I think it's definitely worth moving on from Colton Miller if you can, and going getting one of these shutdown left tackles, to protect whatever quarterback we bring in. You got to have a guy protecting the man's blind side. And then we have on the injured reserve, wait, that's not injured. That's defense. My bad. All right, last but not least, injured reserve, Gardner Minshew, got to go. Sincere McCormick, hopefully gets another look. Should have definitely got some, burn earlier in the season, but they just, the coaches we had, just, again, I bitched about it all season long with, the roster, putting guys in the wrong spot, not putting guys in that deserve or maybe not deserve, but should probably get a look just to see what we had in them. So Sincere McCormick, Zamir White is another guy that could possibly, with his size, 6 foot, 215, with his speed, can they get something out of him? There have been talks about Bo Hardegree coming back as the offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me know your thoughts below, what you think about that. Me personally, I was one of those advocates that said Bo Hardegree should have never been fired. He should have been given the opportunity to be offensive coordinator, I thought, under Antonio Pierce when he got the head coaching job. What he did with Zamir White was absolutely amazing. When Josh Jacobs went down, what he did with Aiden O'Connell in his last 6 starts, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. Having Jacoby Myers throw the ball out of the backfield, having Devontae, running crazy shit out of the backfield. The reverses they were running. I thought Bo Hardegree was very innovative. There was a reason why he was in the New England Patriots staff. There's a reason why, they brought him to the Tennessee Titans. Probably didn't help that quarterback room too much. But I think Will Levis will definitely be better than he was when he got there. So, you can't control decision making, which is kind of my knock on Milrow. You can only teach so much, right? So Bo Hardegree, again, another name to watch out for. But I thought with Zamir, you know, with Bo Hardegree, he looked like a running back. So I don't know who the offensive coordinator is going to be. Again, we have no idea who they're going to bring in, but we know they will be a smash mouth, physical, violent, running football team. So Zamir could, have a breakout year. It just depends if they keep him around. He's definitely had a whole lot of time to lift weights, to ride horses. DJ Turner is another one of those, short, spunky guys that I think would definitely fit this system. Running reverses, blocking shit like that. I say we bring DJ Turner back. I like him on special teams. Jeff Foreman got hurt right away. We didn't see much from him. Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz is a must re-sign, in my opinion. This is a guy we have to bring back. Maxx Crosby had his best year with Malcolm Kuntz on the other side. Like, you don't get double teamed as much. You don't get triple teamed with Christian Wilkins out there. If they go get another top defensive nose tackle or a tackle, or even keep Jonah Lalu out there, subbing out Tyree Wilson with this, the guys we have on this defensive line, to me, Malcolm Kuntz is a must. And I think he's going to go absolutely crazy under a Pete Carroll. Like, we've seen what Bruce Irvin did for many, many years in that system. And, dude, Malcolm Kuntz is going to have a fire lit under him, missing a whole entire season. Everybody was dying. Furpo in the building, I see you. Everybody was dying to see what Malcolm Kuntz was going to do this year. 8 sacks in the last half of the season. The man came on absolutely strong and, got better and better and better. And as he got better, the defense got better. And as he got hurt, our defense fell apart, in my opinion. So to me, Pete Carroll said, we want to keep, the guys in-house. We want to sign the guys that were key to success. And I think Malcolm Kuntz was a big, big key to Patrick Graham's success, to Robbie Leonard's success, and the defense's success as a whole. So Malcolm Kuntz has to be brought back no matter what. Somehow you have to bring that dude back. Tamari Fox, 6'2", 288. We didn't see much of that dude, a defensive tackle. Another guy that can make, crazy, crazy noise. Christian Wilkins, we already know what he can do. Luke Masterson had some flashes here and there, especially in the run game. He's probably one of the, definitely better at blitzing, kind of like a Robert Spillane than trying to cover out of the backfield or cover slot receivers. Jacorian Bennett, I think, is going to have a crazy, insane breakout year. And, Marcus Epps, do we keep a Marcus Epps? I don't think he fits, that smash mouth, turn the ball over, be a problem at safety kind of guy like a Trey Taylor would or like Isaiah Palamau. So I think that's one of the guys we could move on, save a little bit of cap space because we're going to need that cap space, right? We're going to need every single bit of that cap space because Maxx Crosby wants stability, right? He wants more money. I don't know if it's more money, but he just wants a guarantee on his contract. And I believe his contract is 24 mil this year and 25 the next. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody, I'm sure, will in the chat. That's a lot of money for the next 2 years for a guy that had 6.5 sacks this year. No turnovers, no interceptions, no forced fumbles. I mean, I love Max just like everybody else. But damn, what's he going to want? How long is he going to want it for? We talked about the free agents. We talked about, if we bring back just 8 out of those 27 free agents, that's upwards of $70 million. So you throw in which 8 you decide to pick out of 27 to bring back to give bigger contracts to. That puts us, somewhere between 30 mil to try to work Maxx Crosby another 3 or 4 year deal with a guarantee of what do you want, 30 million a year? I've heard people say upwards of 30 mil. He's already got 25, coming. It's not guaranteed money. So how's all this going to work? I don't know. Like they have definitely have their work cut out for them 1,000% in this regime when it comes to Spytek. They have the right people in the building, but there are a lot of decisions to be made. Like we have a lot of holes to fill. We have a lot of players that we need to keep that help this team succeed and that, progress through the season and continue to progress. And I believe those guys have to be considered and brought back. How are we going to do that? I don't know. Now the salary cap's going to go up. So, we can move on from Gardner. We can move Andre James around. You can get rid of a Colton Miller. There's things we can do. But Maxx Crosby wanting more money is going to hurt us no matter how you slice it. I know the next 2 years he's already on the books. So if you keep it somewhere around there, it's not going to be much of a cap hit. But I do know one thing. When you talk about restructuring, when you talk about, contract extensions, and you throw the word winning Super Bowls in the same sentence, to me, that doesn't work, right? That doesn't work. You're going to have to want one or the other. Either you want us to build a team around you and give you the players to help you win a Super Bowl, or you want to move on and go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl and get your bag. Because the Raiders can't do both, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, but I just do not see a situation where we can keep players, that we have to keep, like a Robert Spillane, like Trayvon Moreg. The list goes on and on. Probably like a Caleb Von Chasen, like a Jonah Lalu. I think, as guy Adam Butler. When you start to add all those contracts up, it's adding up to somewhere around 70 mil. Like I said, that leaves us with 30. That's going to be a lot to bring in 2 guards, to bring in 2 running backs, to bring in a number 1 receiver or somewhere close, to bring in a shutdown corner, to bring in a quarterback. Like, come on, man. That's a lot of work for anybody to do. So I hope we can do it. Breaking news: Mike McCarthy is taking 2025 off to focus on the hiring cycle. Well, good for him. That's probably the smartest thing he could do. How's goes? Salute. I seen you in the building. Cowtown, what'd you say? Lobby didn't get any carries because he had some for coaches last year. That is not a nice word, Cowtown. That's not a nice word. Because he had some beeps for coaches last year. We know this. We know this. He's an offensive weapon. Any good coach. Oh wait, yeah. Any good coach knows as soon as that youngster fumbled, he should have got the ball the next snap. Oh, come on, man. I don't know why it took me so long to read that, but as I'm trying to read it, it's jumping around. And if I read it off the damn screen, I can't see it. I need new glasses. I definitely need new glasses. But yeah, we all know Dylan Labe should have had, you know, snaps right away in that game, if not the next game, you know, and probably many games after that because he would have helped this franchise. And I think Antonio Pierce, this is just my opinion, but I think Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco were in tank mode. And I thought they thought their job, they believed their jobs were safe and they had jobs on lock. But it's the NFL. It stands for not for long. And if you don't win and you don't produce in the NFL, contracts mean nothing. And, Antonio Pierce, when they asked about his job, he said, I'm under contract. To me, that was a stupid statement. You're showing that you're not knowledgeable about the situation. Contracts don't mean shit. Dick Daniels was under contract. He was gone. Gruden was under contract. They're still paying him. He was gone. So I think Antonio Pierce and these guys made a huge mistake by thinking, they could go get their quarterback and win next year. But next year never came. They didn't expect to have the injuries they had. But the fact that they didn't play guys like Amari Gaynor, like Ramel Keaton, that should have been on the roster from the day and Devontae Adams got traded, Ramel Keaton should have been on the roster. He should have been out there. He should have been getting, whether it's 1 or 2 or 5 or something, he should have been getting looks every single game, in my opinion, because he's a guy that can make plays. He can break tackles. He's crazy with the ball in his hands in the open field, and they just didn't utilize their weapons. So to me, that's why everybody was saying tank. The Raiders are tanking because it looks like they were tanking. When you have guys that can help your team win, like center Putman that I talked about. Will Putnam was a crazy all year. He didn't miss but a couple, I think 2 games his whole entire collegiate career at center. The man, didn't give up, I don't think, any sacks, but like 1, I think, his whole entire career. So he's that feisty, mean attitude dude. And when you got Andre James, who's just getting bull rushed, pushed around like he's on ice skates constantly, and you don't make changes, like, to me, that tells me they were just trying to lose. But yeah, I agree. Ludo Labe should have definitely had the ball like the next carry. You can't let a rookie sit there and waller in his own misery and sit on the bench and think about it, especially when every time you hand the ball off to a veteran like Madison or even Amir Abdullah or whoever was getting the handoffs, even Sincere McCormick. Well, okay, not Sincere because he was getting positive yards, but when those guys are getting stuffed in the backfield every time they touch the ball or running into the offensive lineman, and you're sitting there going, I know I can help this team and I know I'm better than these guys, and you're not getting an opportunity, that's rough, bro. And that's bad coaching. That's horrible coaching. And somebody on that staff, that's a veteran like a Marvin Lewis, like a Phil Bond, somebody should have stepped up and said, bro, you can't do this to this kid. Like it's not right. It's not right at all, but it is what it is. You don't sit a kid all year after fumbling and making him think about it, right? Boost his confidence, but AP was special kind of stupid, as was the OC. I agree, bro. Like some of that shit was dumb, like very, very dumb. You gotta boost a man's confidence. What else was I was gonna say? Something about that. I don't know what the hell I was gonna say. Furpo in the building. I got you. Appreciate you, my guy. Um, for fuck's sakes, they weren't tanking. They sucked. You can say what you want, Luda. You call it your way, I call it mine. When you don't play players that can help you win and that are proven, on the practice squad, everybody's talking about, man, this guy is busting his ass in practice. This guy's showing out in practice, but he doesn't get in the game. That to me tells you that, that tells me that they're not trying to win, bro, that they weren't trying to win. And yes, I know we were absolutely horrible and we didn't have to tank. But if you put in some of the right players in the right positions, like Aiden O'Connell from the jump, come on, man. If you would have started Aiden O'Connell, we wouldn't have been 4-13. I'm sorry, dude. There's no way. Maybe 6-13, but it's still better than what we had. But we could have also been 13-4. When you see Madison and running backs constantly get negative yards, they carry the ball 12, 15 times, 16, 20 times a game. Okay, nobody carried it 20 times a game but one. But when you're carrying it from 10 to 15 times a game and you're getting 12 yards, 15 yards, and they're still going with you over and over again, bad coaching, bad coaching. Laughing my ass off. You're saying they couldn't have been this stupid. Yeah, I'm saying they can't be that stupid. You can't be that bad of a judge of talent, bro. It's especially when it's blatantly right there in front of your face. Pause if necessary. But yeah, you can't be that bad of a judge of talent. AP was a scout. Like, I know AP is better than that when it comes for judging talent. I think Amari Gaynor and Eichenberg and some of these guys were definitely his draft picks. Like, those were guys he was like, I need this guy, I want this guy. Why he didn't play him, I have no idea, bro. I don't know. I don't know. But you wouldn't think you could be that stupid. They were so bad they didn't need to tank. Yeah, I get it. They were bad. But why were they bad? Why were they bad? It's called turnovers, personnel. You can't tell me that we couldn't have won a lot of those games that we had 3 turnovers in. You can't tell me we couldn't have won most of those games. Okay, let me rephrase that. You can't tell me we couldn't have won most of the games we had 3 turnovers in. Because I think we could have won all those games that we had 3 turnovers in. And that was like 5 games, I do believe. And you can't sit there and say that we didn't have a damn good chance of winning the games that we were competitive in, we had to score close in, or we were even ahead in, and then we had 2 turnovers in. So 2 turnovers in a game, we lost. 3 turnovers in a game, we lost. We just didn't have the quarterback or a running game to come back from those scenarios. Now, if we had a quarterback in there that didn't turn the ball over like that, it might have been a different story in a lot of those games. So I don't think this roster is that bad. And we're going to see. And when Pete Carroll comes in and steps in and takes over the reins, you're going to see a whole different team with the same roster pretty much. Watch. A lot of these guys are going to play way different. Why? Because they're going to have something to play for. They're going to know that all their work and practice isn't going, unnoticed, and they're just going to go with the same guy making the same stupid mistakes because of whatever reason. They're buddy with them. They smoke cigars. They hang out. I mean, I don't know. Real Talk Raider Nation, what's good? If y'all don't follow his channel, y'all should go check it out. They were bad because this coach and staff he hired sucked. I have to disagree again, Cowtown. I mean, yes, I'm not going to completely disagree. Most of the staff did suck, but Luke Steckel was a damn good hire, bro. Luke Steckel did an amazing job with Brock Bowers. Even with the other tight ends that did, the 5-6 tight ends we shuffled throughout the season, but also with Michael Mayer and the shit that he went through, came back in, did pretty good. Luke Steckel, I thought, did a hell of a job as tight end coach, and I hope they keep that man in the building. Also, I thought Philbon, Joe Philbon, when he took over the offensive line, it was a total different offensive line. So not all the hires that AP brought in the building were bad. Maybe maybe putting him in the positions he did might have been might have been bad. Like he probably, like I said, probably should have kept Bo Hardegree because look, Bo Hardegree's getting a lot of looks for OC jobs for a reason. He did a damn good job with the young Aiden O'Connell and Zamir White. So yeah, I'm not. I don't think it was all bad hires. I thought there were some decent guys. I really thought Ricky Manning Jr. did a damn good job with these defensive backs. You know, I thought Jacorian Bennett had a breakout year from a horrible rookie year. So yeah, there were some guys on this staff that I thought he brought in that were pretty decent. They weren't all trash. You keep going on IP wasn't a bad coach. Have to revoke. So where'd this shit go? What'd you say? If you keep going on AV, I'm gonna have to revoke your YouTube certificate. Shut the fuck up. I didn't say he was a bad. I didn't say he wasn't a bad coach. I said he was decent at personnel, and he brought in some guys that were okay. I didn't say they were all good. Take my shit, bro. I just got monetized. How you gonna take my shit? Don't do that. Don't do that. Speaking of, I gotta fill out my shit. If y'all want to become members, I don't even know what it's gonna be called. Maybe y'all should pick 3 choices. What should I call my shit? Because we gotta have tiers: first tier, second tier, third tier, or whatever. And also, subscribe to the family. It's gotta be something. I was thinking like the Unleashed Militia sounds kind of cool. Or Raiders Militia family. Something. I don't know. I gotta come up with something. Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT. That'd be stupid. She ought to give me dumb shit. Sorry, Rebel, you have ADD odds, autism, so we see slow. That's why. That's what up, bro. You're good, my brother. All right, what else are we gonna talk about? 3:37. Damn, that's a lot of time. All right, I got one more thing I wanted to bring up real quick. Stop sharing this. If it'll work without all these damn ads, probably not. Come on, man. Jesus. Get rid of that. There we go. No. All right, so these are the top 25 free agents. T. Higgins at wide receiver. I don't know who that chick is. Trey Smith at guard from the Kansas City Chiefs. What do y'all think about Raiders swinging for the fences and going after the number one guard in the NFL? In my opinion, like if not, he's definitely top 3. It's one of the highest paid cats. Definitely going to be probably a decent bag. But that would solidify this offensive line big time. Chris Godwin, receiver, we talked about. Javon Holland, safety. I'm going to say on. DJ Reed, cornerback from the Jets. Could be a nice pickup, depending on where we go in the draft. I kind of like Will Johnson. I think Will Johnson out of Michigan should be that pickup, definitely at 6. Mosa Raider, what's good? What's good? He could be our young Russell Wilson. Could be. Ronnie Staley. Now, this is one of the best left tackles, probably maybe the best left tackle in football for the Ravens. Protects Lamar Jackson's blind side. He's a free agent. I don't see the Ravens letting him go. Is it worth, throwing a bag at this guy, making an offer to again solidify this offensive line, possibly move on from Colton Miller, Stephon Diggs at wide receiver, Khalil Mack. Could we possibly bring a Khalil Mack in? I would say a hard pass just because the money, the age, and we have a lot of young guys that are, not Khalil Mack. But if you have a Khalil Mack in the building, we won't know if we have a Khalil Mack, right? Because they're going to take a lot of playtime away. Amari Cooper is number 9. I find that absolutely hilarious that this free agency class is so weak that Amari Cooper is number 9 on the top 25 free agents. Zach Bond, however you say that dude's name. Zach Bond, linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. Bond is a freak, bro. The man has, I think, five forced fumbles this year, 5 or 6 forced fumbles, interception, 2 sacks, a bunch of tackles for a loss. The man is a problem, bro. Hey, grandma, what's good? Oh, that's not my grandma. Sam Darnold, his 11th best player out of the top 25 free agents. I find this hard to believe again. Sam Darnold is a guy that played at USC. I do believe under Pete Carroll. Was it with Pete Carroll? I don't know. But bring back Howie. That would be awesome. Defensive line coach, Josh Sweat for the Eagles. I don't think we need any edge rushers. Grandma again. Hey, Grandma. Nick Bolton is a linebacker that I would bring in. That man is a problem. He's been, probably one of the top leading tacklers for Kansas City. Actually, I wouldn't bring in Nick Bolton. There's a couple linebackers I just thought of that I would bring in way before that dude. And a couple on the team that I would let play. Justin Reed at safety for the Chiefs. That dude makes a lot of big plays. A lot of big plays. And if you don't, depends on where we go with this team. But I think they kind of will be looking at youth to run that, to run the backfield, to anchor the backfield. Because Pete Carroll loves those guys that are fast. Like I said, fast, strong, hard hitting dudes. He kind of fits that bill. DeAndre Hopkins is 17. I thought he did, he helped the Kansas City Chiefs. That's another receiver that could help. He's one of those guys like Devontae that runs runs the route tree, could get open. Price is probably going to be crazy. I would pass on that. Charvarius Ward, depending on the price, I mean, that could definitely be an option. He is 28 years old. He allowed 61% completion percentage and 5 touchdowns. Yeah, we'll pass on that. We'll pass on that. Cam Robinson, tackle for the Vikings. Was traded to help stable. That dude, I think, after Darashaw went down, he kind of came in and was a leader and kind of stepped up and helped the shit out of the Vikings team. That could be another guy to look in, especially if we get rid of Jenkins or, somehow move on from Adam Butler. Cam Robinson could be a guy definitely bring in. And then running back, Aaron Jones. I mean, he had 1,100, almost 1,200 yards rushing. I think Aaron Jones would look. What the flip just happened? Oh, come on, man. Son of a bitch. Shit. Well, there goes that. I don't know what the fuck happened. I think Aaron Jones would be crazy good in the silver and black. He's hard runner. He's constantly leaning forward, after contact. Not one of those guys that had a lot of touchdowns. Where the fuck did it go? What happened? Jesus. All right. Well, yeah, we're not showing that no more. Fuck my life. So there's the top 17. Like shit. I don't know what just happened. Trash. Lost the whole fucking page. So that's where we're at. Oh, I think Byron Murphy, another guy you could definitely look at bringing in. But what do y'all think? What's your opinions? Who do you think we should go after? There's not a lot of free agents. It's not really deep. Pause if necessary. I watched some of his film a lot. He was balling. Who? Um, let's talk about how Dylan Gabriel's a lot better than being talked about. That's what you want to talk about? That's what you want to talk about? um, I think Dylan Gabriel is a Pete Carroll uh you know what I'm saying? I think I think he might hit that G spot for Pete Carroll. Like he's pretty much the same size, pretty much the same speed, pretty much has the same arm strength, doesn't have the same build, but he's basically Russell Wilson 2.0. So, I mean, 5'10, can run the ball, can run read options, doesn't turn the ball over a lot, makes pretty good decisions. I'd much rather have Riley Leonard. I'm sorry. Everybody keeps telling me, Rebel, you're wrong on Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard is not the guy. But, however, I just feel he is. And until he proves me wrong, we'll find out at the Senior Bowl, you know, and in the combine what he's going to be. But at 6'4 with a 4.5 40, he can be that running quarterback that you need if you need him to do that. He showed in the championship game against Ohio State, the best defense in college football, where nobody scored over 15 points against those guys almost all year long. Riley Leonard carried his team on his back the whole game, running the ball, running the ball, running the ball. And when they got so far behind that they couldn't come back, and no, not come on her back, when they got so far behind that they couldn't come back, they actually let him throw the ball. And what did he do? He just drove them down for 2 touchdowns. That's it. That's all. No big deal, right? With no big number one receiver, with a run game that wasn't working, with a offense that's run first because they rely on defense to win them football games. What Riley Leonard do against crazy defensive end that's probably going to go in the top, 15 or 20, uh, against one of the nastiest defensive lines in all of college football, probably one of the best linebackers in all of college football, solid corners, solid safeties, and Riley Leonard, all he did was get the okay to pass the ball and drove them down for 2 touchdowns. Should have been 3 touchdowns, but their dumbass coach decided to kick a field goal instead of letting your 6'4", 225-pound quarterback that runs a 4.5 40 run the fucking ball on the 6-yard line. No, we're going to decide to hand off twice and then let him pass and then kick a field goal that donked. So Riley Leonard is that dude, bro. I don't know what people don't see in this kid, man. Go watch tape at Duke when they let him throw the ball because he wasn't in a run first, uh, be that bridge guy that doesn't turn the ball over, kind of style quarterback. They actually let him throw the ball at Duke, and the kid balled out. That's why he went to Notre Dame. And how do you get into Notre Dame? You have to have like a 4.0 grade average because that's one of the top elite schools for education. You can't be just any clown playing football that can throw a football or run a football. You have to have an elite, intelligent mind like, BYU, Yale. That's Notre Dame. That's one of those top schools. So they don't just take anybody. So the kid has the brains. He definitely has the athleticism. I keep saying, he reminds me of Josh Allen when he runs the ball. He doesn't slide. He jumps over guys. We've seen him diving over guys, landing on his head for first downs in the playoffs. Riley Leonard is a beast. He's a leader. Everybody on his team, his coaches, every team he's been on at Duke and Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman says he's a leader. He's a leader. People get behind him. They rally behind him. That's what you need at quarterback, right? You need a quarterback that can run the ball. Check. You need a leader of men. Check. You need a guy that can throw it 40, 50 yards down the field. Check. Like, you need a guy that can read defenses, that can learn systems quick. Check. Like, why are we not talking about Riley Leonard, bro? We're talking about Dylan Gabriel, who had one good year in a stacked team at Oregon with a damn good run game, with pretty good tight end, damn good receivers, an okay offensive line. I mean, I don't know why we're not talking about Riley Leonard, but I guess we want to talk about Dylan Gabriel, who's only 6 foot and, could have one of those Russell Wilson type careers, but he could also, have one of those flop careers. He could also have one of those Kyler Murray type careers at his size where, when it comes to big moments, when it comes to clutch situations, he folds like a lawn chair. Kind of like he did against Ohio in the playoffs, right? So the man was good all year long, but when it came down to money time, his team lost. So I like Dylan Gabriel. I think people are going to take a shot on him, but to me, he's more like Travis. What is it? Travis Jordan from Florida State last year. That's kind of what I see Dylan Gabriel as. But I think, or Jordan Travis. Was it Jordan Travis or however, whatever his name is, Jordan Travis, Travis Jordan. I think he's way more athletic than Dylan Gabriel. Najee Harris. It depends on what Najee Harris wants. The man's had 1,000-yard season every year he's been in the NFL. He didn't fumble the ball one time this year. That's big to me. That's what more can you ask for out of a running back? I think in the red zone, he's kind of soft. That kind of hurts his stock for me. But if you can get another running back, that you can have one of the hammer and nail type dude, or thunder and lightning, or however you want to say it, I think he could definitely be. I mean, definitely be one of those guys worth bringing in free agency. Like I said, 1,000 yards every season, doesn't turn the ball over. He just doesn't have highlight plays. He's not really great at catching the ball out of the backfield. So I don't know. To me, I want a guy that, is an every down back. Not everybody's gonna get a Saquon, but Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Travis Henry, guys that can do it all. They can catch, they can block, they can run, they can be elusive. I'm just listening, gotta go to sleep. Chatter Bomb, Howie Roseman. I'm going to sleep. Good night, Red Nation. Peace out, Shane, my guy. Appreciate you in the building, as always. Divine Diablo, Trayvon Morag, Isaiah Palomau. Keep? Why Divine Diablo? Can I ask you that? Dre Greenlaw, man, I think he would be nasty in this, Legion of Boom type defense we're probably going to put together. But he's hurt so much, man. The guy is hurt so much that scares me. Like, He tore his knee, came back way too early, and got hurt. What, the first or second play? So that I'm out on. I'm out on that. I'm out on Greenwald. But I do like the way he plays and his effort. If he can stay healthy, 100%. I prefer to have a quarterback who could see over the line, but Gabriel looked nice in the games I watched today. What games did you watch today? Is he in the? Is he playing in the Senior Bowl? My man says Will Howard and McCord are solid prospects as well. Howard's built similar to Allen. He has a big arm and can move the chains. Gunslinger, too quick on the trigger at times. McCord's similar to AOC. Yeah, and Kyle McCord is everybody like Graf, a couple people, commentators that are have their credentials now that they could be on the field, saying McCord is that dude. And I was thinking the same thing. Isn't Kyle McCord Aiden O'Connell? A little bit more mobile, not much more, but I mean that's what I see out of McCord. Pretty much an AOC, bro. Like, why waste a draft pick? And Howard, I like Howard's arm. He's way more athletic than AOC, in my opinion. He doesn't look, like Bambi on ice. I'm not holding my breath, cringing every time, every time he runs the ball. Scares the shit out of me. Everyone sits on Riley Leonard, but I see what you see. He's talented. That's all I'm saying. I'm a pretty good judge of personnel and players. And I don't miss often. Like I haven't been wrong with too many people. Aiden, we don't know yet, but I still big advocate for Aiden O'Connell. I think that kid has a lot of potential, and I see the same thing in Leonard. I see that Josh Allen heart. I see that leadership. I see a dude that is willing to carry a team on his back if you give him that opportunity. But I also see a team player that doesn't have to be that guy. He's not flashy. He doesn't care about how much his watch cost or how much he's in the media or how many followers he has on social media. He cares about football. He cares about winning, and he cares about his faith. And I think that's probably a big reason a lot of people hate on Riley Leonard. It's because he's open about his faith. But y'all cool with Dion and Shador. I don't understand. Go look up Gabriel's stats. He has more than one good year. I know his stats, bro, and I watched him at Oklahoma and shit. I know. I know. Was it Oklahoma State? Wherever the hell he came from. You know what I mean? I like Dylan Gabriel, dude. I'm not mad at Dylan Gabriel. I mean, if we got him in the third or fourth or something, I just don't see him being a franchise quarterback. I mean, he could probably be that guy that could probably make it to the playoffs and, lose you the playoff games because he comes up short. No pun intended on his size. No, they're not. Who's no, they're not. What we say? We got Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, Riley Leonard. Any of those are better than AOC. If you want a running quarterback that can run for 1,000 yards every year, take Milroe, but he's nowhere near AOC when it comes to reading defenses, when it comes to leading receivers, when it comes to throwing guys open, when it comes to accuracy, when it comes to touch. Milroe has none. That dude couldn't put touch on the ball to save his ass, RSPP. He's way too strong, and he has no feel when it comes to throwing the ball, and that's a big knock on Jalen Milroe. He throws everything 100 miles an hour, and it makes it hard for guys to catch because he's strong. Look at his physique. The dude's built like a brick shithouse. He looks like a running back. So, no on that. Dylan Gabriel, I don't see having a better arm than AOC. Maybe a little bit mobility better, but he's not faster. His 40 time is not any faster than AOC's really. Riley Leonard, he doesn't have the football intelligence. He doesn't have the ability to to read defenses at the line of scrimmage. I think like AOC is damn good at that, in my opinion. He showed in the Kansas City game. Um, he knows which guys are blitzing. He knows he sees it. He don't have to call it out, but Aiden O'Connell, he knows when guys are blitzing. He knows when they're fake blitzing, and that's one of the things I really like about Aiden O'Connell is he can get the ball out fast when he has to. So, I don't see any of those guys being better than Aiden O'Connell. I see all of them being more mobile than Aiden O'Connell, but I don't see any of them being a better passer. I don't see any of them being, none of them, maybe Riley Leonard, having a harder work ethic than Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell is the first one in the building and the last one to leave. Now, when you say Jaden Daniels is the first one in the building and the last one to leave, everybody say, "Oh my God, Jaden Daniels is the greatest quarterback ever. His work ethic is amazing." But when you say Aiden O'Connell's the first one in the building and the last to leave, they're like, "Oh, so what? Aiden O'Connell works hard." I don't get it. Like, I don't get that shit. Yeah, my man Luda, they're more athletic. Absolutely. Athleticism does not make someone a better quarterback than another. That is purely preference. No, I mean, look at how many more mobile quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Now, this year, you're going to have a mobile quarterback probably win a Super Bowl in Jalen Hurts. And you can put Patrick Mahomes in that category, but not really. I mean, if you look at his 40 time, he's not really a fast quarterback. He's crafty. He knows when to run. He knows how to be elusive. He's wiggly and he's smart, not mobile. So, yeah, 100%. I agree with that. What else? It's huge in today's NFL. Every quarterback in the final four can extend plays. AOC can't do that. I disagree. It doesn't look pretty, but he does extend. He showed in his last starts that he tried to make plays with his legs. He tried to step up in the pocket. He actually outran a couple defensive linemen to the sidelines. He actually outran a linebacker. He actually outran a linebacker to the sidelines. So Aiden O'Connell's trying, bro. He's getting better. Is he athletic? No. Can he pick up first downs? Absolutely. He can pick up 5-6 yards. He just got to know when to run and when not to run. And I think he's learning that with time. Let's not forget, he's only has 16 starts in the NFL. And in those 16 starts, he has a pretty damn good numbers. Especially if you take away the fact that his first 3 games, he had 5 interceptions. After that, bro, the man don't turn the ball over. He does not turn the ball over. I think he's in his starts, he has 22 touchdowns and I don't know, 12 interceptions or some shit. Not bad. A lot of those were in the first couple games, but he got better every single game, no matter what people say. And I'm gonna laugh my ass off if somehow they decide to go with Aiden O'Connell as a bridge for a year under Pete Carroll. That shit would be wild. If anything, it changed better. Pocket passing quarterback. The league protects the quarterback. They can't even touch their helmet. Oh, they can't, dude. They can't even fart on them without getting a damn penalty. Divine Diablo is one of the best, most versatile linebackers in the league. Bro, are you high? I mean, I respectfully respect your opinion, but no, bro. No, no. He is definitely good in coverage. I will not lie. He played safety. He is a converted linebacker. So that is his job to be able to be a ball hawk. That should become natural. But he cannot tackle a mannequin in a department store, bro. That dude misses more tackles than anybody in the NFL. He leads our team in missed tackles by a lot. By by a lot. He has more than a couple double than more than two people in a bunch of stats. So Divine Diablo, if he just learned how to tackle, would be a scary, scary linebacker in the NFL. But for some reason, he's got those big long arms and he just doesn't wrap guys up, or I don't know. He just doesn't like to hit people. That's probably why they moved him from safety, because he just didn't like to tackle and lay the fucking wood on people. So I disagree on Divine, man. But I could be missing something. I mean, I just watched pretty much every Raider game this year, like probably 3 times doing tape reviews. And I did not see that dude at all being, I mean, I agree, versatile, but God, you got to be able to tackle. Versatility don't mean shit if you miss the tackles. Um, Much rather trade a third or a fourth round pick for Joe Milton the third. Now that I will totally agree 100%. That is probably the smartest thing I heard you say. No, I'm just kidding, my brother. Just fucking with you. Dude, Joe Milton the third would be crazy under Pete Carroll, depending on who the offensive coordinator is. But if he's still trying to, if he still wants to run that same kind of offensive system where, the quarterback rolls out, creates lanes for himself to throw the ball. And if he doesn't have lanes, he takes off running. Bro, Joe Milton the third is that dude. And we seen whatever the quarterback coach is over there in New England did wonders with him and Drake May, because even when Milton got into play a couple of those games, he impressed the shit out of me. I thought his accuracy looked better, his decision making looked better, his reads at the, his pre-snap reads. I thought all that shit looked better than it did in college. So I would take a flyer on that. Definitely. Especially knowing Pete Carroll and what he does with quarterbacks, bro, I would definitely take a flyer on a Joe Milton the third. What is this? Jalen Hurts' team. He's gonna be the reason he wins the Super Bowl in Philly. He's not. It's what in Philly wins not his mobility. I think he's gonna be the reason Philly. I agree. He's got to be the reason Philly wins. They need him, in my opinion, to run for close to at least over 50 yards, and they got to keep Saquon going, and he has to pass for at least 250 yards with no turnovers. That's how you beat the Chiefs. But if you look at their stats and the way they played this year, this is the last game that they won, is the only game this year that they've won where he's passed for over 159 yards. So usually when they passes for over 160 yards, they lose. But they turned that around last week, so hopefully they can keep doing that. But I agree, man. He definitely has to be the reason. And AJ Brown has to be that guy, bro. You have to throw the ball to that dude. He's a fucking freak of nature. You have to get the man the ball as much as possible, especially against Kansas City's corners. And linebackers. I'd put AJ Brown in the slot over and over and over and over again, bro. We need supreme athletes at quarterback like Jalen Milroe, Joe Milton in successful position. I think Joe Milton could do exactly what Jalen Hurts is doing. I think he's more athletic. I think he's faster. He doesn't probably bench, squat 600 pounds like Jalen Hurts. But I definitely think he could be that dude if you're not throwing the ball deep. Like if you want to run a Rich Gannon type system where you just, dink and dunk 5-10 yards, you could use Joe Milton. I think he'd be that dude. But he probably definitely could use to sit another year. It definitely wouldn't hurt him, especially under the right quarterback coach. But the dude has the strongest arm in the NFL, man. You see that guy could throw 80 yards on his knees. If you can get his accuracy up and his decision making, he'd be scary. He'd be scary. But he's not. I mean, he's not much worse than Anthony Richards Richardson, who's over there with the Colts. Laughing my ass off. Agree to disagree, all respect. For sure. For sure. Supreme athletes belong playing wide running back and wide receiver, not quarterback. I agree 100%, my brother. They distribute if they need to and run because something went wrong, right? This isn't RPOs in college. I think mobile quarterbacks hurt themselves because they rely too much on their athleticism and their ability to make plays with their legs. And I think their internal clock may be a little short. So they go through, read one, read two, and then they're just running because they're like, shit, I can do better with my legs than taking a chance of waiting for somebody to come open or trying to get to my third progression. And then it's too long and the defense is already collapsed, or the offensive line is already collapsed, and you got defensive linemen and defensive ends and linebackers in your face. So to me, I like the fact that, Shador is not a mobile guy, right? He does stand in the pocket and throw first. He's definitely a throw first. Cam Ward, the same thing. I kind of like that about both of those guys, but not much more. That's it. And I agree 100%. Like, but then you can't question a mobile quarterback like a Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts, come on, he wasn't the greatest in Alabama, and Bryce Young could, in my opinion, played probably just as good, if not better, in Alabama. Now, when he got to the NFL, it's a totally different story. But Jalen Hurts has, always been that exactly what Milroe is now, right? A run first guy, make plays with his legs, go through your first, second progression. If it's not there, run the ball, run the ball, get a first down, pick up a first down. Tony Chef in the building. And it seems to me like that was a lot of Pete Carroll's, system the whole time. And even at USC, that was, what he wanted to do. Run the shit out of the ball, take chances once in a while down the field, but mostly they were out of a RPO or a read option where, quarterback keeps the ball and runs to the line of scrimmage and throws it downfield. So there's a lot of people that could fit that system. There's a lot of free agents we could get that could fit that. But definitely in Pete Carroll's system, you have to be able to pick up first downs with your legs. And I think there's a lot of, called quarterback plays also, which kind of keeps the defense on their heels. If Pete Carroll thinks AOC is that guy, I'm all for it. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think he's mobile enough. But what I got from the press conference was definitely a coach saying you don't have to have the best quarterback or the most mobile quarterback to win games. And it didn't really sound like he was trying to talk like he was taking a flyer on going and getting the best quarterback in this draft. It seems to me like Carroll's already got a plan. I'm sure he's talked to Brady, Mark Davis, and Spytek about the plan. I'm positive these guys know the direction they're going. They know how they're going to put this team together and who they're going to build it around. And, Carroll said a lot of good things about the quarterback, but he also said the main thing for him is to build around a quarterback. And if you're going to build around a quarterback, to me, that doesn't sound like you're going to go get one. I know that's Spytek's MO. That's what he did with Brady that won him a Super Bowl. That's what he did after Brady. He went and got Baker Mayfield, who's got him in the playoffs the last 2 years. So we know that's Spytek's MO. Go get the best guy for your system. But is Pete Carroll on the same page with that? That we will have to wait and see and find out. Where they decide to go. They might decide to see, he might look at Aiden O'Connell and say, damn, if I could just keep this guy upright and he doesn't have to scramble or run for first downs. And if he does have to scramble or run for first downs, just make sure it's forward, right? He doesn't run sideline to sideline. He steps up in the pocket, runs for a couple yards, picks up whatever he's got to pick up, and move on to the next play. I think it could work like that. But maybe that's probably the only way. Did I not read that? In the presser, there's a reason Spytek and Carroll didn't mention AOC. They mentioned how important it is to locate a quarterback. I don't get it. I don't get it. They didn't mention anybody. Like, the only mention was Maxx Crosby. He's seen Maxx Crosby was the only one in the building that was part of the organization that's on this roster that cared to see what was going on, I guess. So he shouted out Max, but he didn't mention anybody in the building. He said that they were going, what? Yeah, he said how important it is to locate your quarterback, but that's not saying that they don't already have one. And that's not saying they do. Like, we don't know. We have no clue. Laughing my ass up at the Divine Diablo comments. He takes on blocks like he's giving out drunk motorboats. Yeah. He doesn't get past blocks very good either. He's not very good at blitzing. Divine got no help around him at linebacker. Spillane comes suspect in coverage, makes Diablo put more work in on guard. I get that. He might have graded out as one of the top edge rushers last year. I don't see that, my guy. Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't see it. So I guess I'm disagreeing with you. Diablo is nowhere near the linebacker Spillane is. Not even close. And he's 6'4", 230 pounds, way bigger, way athletic, way more freak of nature, but he'll never have the heart, the intent, the tenacity, the intensity, or the fortitude that Robert Spillane has, bro. Like, there's no way. That man is a killer. He's okay, but he's not a true linebacker, and he shows it for his coverage. And you tell me who has more picks, 41 or 5, right? Robert Spillane has more picks. But like I said, that was in short coverage. I said he can cover as long as it's in that 5-10 yard range. Anything after 10 yards, he's cooked. He can't keep up. Diablo, on the other hand, can. He just can't make a play after when he gets there. There's a reason, like I said, there's a big reason why they made Divine Diablo a linebacker and took him away from safety, because he's a huge safety. And if that dude could just tackle, he would have been a star in the NFL, like Cam Chancellor style for sure. Diablo doesn't need to be great at his position. He does a little bit of everything. Diablo, Morrig, and Pablo are lethal weapons, tantalizing parts of our future, man. I think Morrig is. I think Paul Mao is. I have to disagree on Divine. And maybe he can tackle. Maybe he could get better this year. Maybe this coaching staff, whoever they bring in, maybe they can go back to fundamentals. Maybe they can go back to Pee Wee and teach the man how to wrap up, how to grab a leg, how to squeeze some shit like a python and not let go. Maybe they could teach that. But as long as he's been in the NFL, if he hasn't learned that yet, I just don't see it happening. But, again, however, everything happens. Shit changes every day, like the weather. And you never know who's going to get the best out of a player? Maybe it was the coaches. Maybe they didn't teach him how to tackle. Maybe he just didn't want to tackle because he didn't like the coaches. I don't know. But I know Divine Diablo can't tackle worth a shit. Go back and watch film on it. The man is horrible when it comes for him blitzing. You know how many blitzes? I can count 11 off the top of my head in 3 games. 11 in 3 games where he had a blitz on the running back and completely whiffed, and they end up being bigs. A big, of course, is 10 yards or more. So 11 bigs from him whiffing on plays. And I mean, I could show him and make a video if I had to, but I really don't have to prove myself. But really, I mean, Devon Diablo could get better. Has that size to be a linebacker. He's an athletic freak, but you got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to tackle. Hondo had a cool interview with Spillane on his show. Dropped the F-bomb once. Pretty funny. Hondo did or Spillane? If Hondo dropped the F-bomb, bro, that shit would be hilarious. Y'all see the interview with Pete Carroll where my man said, they said, "How you doing? Are you the happiest man on the planet?" He said, "Oh no, I'm just being low key." Fucking Pete Carroll at 73 saying low key cracks me up. I guess that's no different than me at 50 talking the way I do. Spillane dropped the F-bomb. Hell yeah, that's cool. I hope they bring Spillane back, and I hope they can get enough good corners and safeties where they can run a 4-3, because I think if with our front four is nasty, and if you can have Spillane in the middle with Amari Gaynor on one side and whoever they bring in or throw up, draft or whoever could be that other dude, somebody that can cover, man, this team could be scary good. Scary, scary good. Carroll will get the most out of his players. He always has. Took a struggling Carson Palmer and made him a national champion, Heisman Trophy winner, and a memorable member service. What? Oh, if my memory serves me correct. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Spillane wants to be a Raider for life. Most Raiders want to be Raiders for life. The problem is we just can't keep them around. Like, man, we just let good people go. But all right, y'all, it's coming up on 2.5 hours. I don't know how. I always say I'm gonna come on for an hour and a half, but y'all are just so much fun to be around and talk to that I can't leave the building when you're on here. So, Diablo whiffling on plays is AP and PG's blamed for putting them in bad positions. Didn't agree with P's defense approach, but needs to bring him back so we can learn from Carroll. If the price is right, I would bring Divine Diablo back. As much as I hate to say it, if he doesn't win the starting job, he's still a depth piece that you can bring in on third down, on coverage downs, and the man could do his job. But other than that, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think Palmer won the Natty, but I'm sure he was a Heisman Trophy winner. I don't think they went. Did he win the championship? I don't think he won the Heisman. Did he? Did Carson Palmer win the Heisman? That's a show for another time. But yeah, Patrick Graham is defensive. All defenses have always been the worst tackling defenses and shit. But with that shit, much love, family. I appreciate all y'all pulling up. Check me out. What's tomorrow? I will probably be on live tomorrow. Different time, same place as always. Raiders. Much love, y'all. Peace.